So let's start. Today I'm going to present you the topic. I think it's the most important topic for all of you. It's about the steps to developing your carbon credit project, especially in Africa. I hope most of us are based in Africa, so it's a good topic for all of us. I'm Niavo Landihajaina R. I'm a senior sustainability consultant. I've worked 5 years at EcoCert as an auditor and certification officer. Then I've supported different companies in sustainability consulting. So let's start the presentation. Let's start by a brief introduction. If you know, Africa is a key player in the global carbon market due to its vast natural resources and also large scale reforestation potential and the growing renewable energy sector. With increasing international demand for carbon credits, in that context, Africa presents a unique opportunity for sustainable development and climate finance. That's what I want to develop in this presentation. The goal of this presentation are especially to identify the project and make a feasibility of what carbon credit project can you develop in Africa, to present you what certification and verification processes are important for carbon credit project, all the financing strategies and cost benefits analysis, and show you also the market opportunities and the carbon credit sales that can be used in a carbon credit project. And by following these steps, project developers can maximize impact, secure financing, and contribute to Africa's sustainable future while profiting from carbon markets. So let's start by showing you and explain you what is really a carbon credit project. What is carbon credit project? A carbon credit is an equivalent measure used in the fight against climate change, and 1 carbon credit is equal to 1 ton of CO2. In response to international commitments, such as the Kyoto Protocol and the 2015 Paris Agreement to reduce GHG emissions, the mechanism has become essential for offsetting residual emissions. So, if you see in this picture, there are 2 eligible projects for carbon credit. First, we have a Votance project. These projects are related to renewable energy and using more energy efficiently. And we have in the other way sequestration project, which means development of natural carbon sinks like forest, ocean, and soils, or in the industrial sinks, which use machines to capture CO2 and store it in lake. So, developing a carbon credit project not only support environmental protection, but it also offers the potential for increased revenue. How are the main steps to develop a carbon credit project? There are 5 steps important if you want to develop one. First, you need to make a feasibility study. It means evaluating the area's potential and determining the types of carbon credits that can be developed in your area. Then you make a development. It means writing a PDD, which is a project document design, which will abstract all the project, all your project information. Then you make a calculation of carbon emission reduction following a proven methodology. The goal of these steps is to ensure the credibility and quality of your project. Then you should make a certification. This is important if you want to buy your to sell your carbon credit. In this step, you will work with top carbon certification programs and auditors, like there are called standard, to eliminate any suspicion of greenwashing. Then you work in the step of financing and selling. These are possibilities of looking for financing solutions to support the development of your project. And then you can sell your carbon credits through the direct client or marketplace. The last step is monitoring. Monitoring is important because the carbon credit project will be verified every year. So you need to ensure that all the project is really monitored. In this step, you will use to track and monitor project to ensure integrity, transparency, permanency, and traceability of all entries made. The development of carbon credit then involve all of these steps if you want to get trustful, safe, and right carbon credit. Let's see different price of carbon credit. This is a study done at the end of 20 and 24. In this picture, we can see the most the higher price of carbon credits. We can see here that nature restoration and reforestation and restoration activities have the higher price. We can tell them higher, and nature restoration in this first case. Then we have energy efficiency, which is about 5 USD per ton. We have also this non-CO2 gases and renewable energy. So we can see that the nature project have a very higher price. These pictures show all the monitoring that can be used for a carbon credit project. First, we have gather satellite images. This is the source satellite images, which lead the supplier on a weekly or a monthly basis to have real-time images without directly going on the ground. Then we have also comparison with baselines. It means use images from the surrounding land or existing project in the region of interest to calculate the baseline and the expected CO2 at a certain point of time of a project. We have also monitoring of forest development. In this monitoring method, you can use satellite data combined with machine learning algorithm to calculate the metrics like tree height, tree wide, number of trees, or tree health. We have also KPIs assessment. These data also allow to calculate indicators such as diameters and tree health indicators. The last example of a monitoring method is the calculation and reporting. It consists of calculate the CO2 sequestered thanks to the implementation of projects to generate the report. And this report can be interesting for all the parties involved in the project. These are all the different certification standards but that I have talked before. We can have first VCS standard, which is the leading international standard. Most of the carbon credits from Vera comes from Asia with a high percentage of engineering-based projects. This is the website of Vera. We have also called standard for the global goals, which is a standard that enables initiatives to quantify, certify, and maximize their impact toward climate security and the sustainable development goals, while enhanced safeguards, holistic project design, management of trade-offs, and local stakeholder engagement to ensure gold standard continues to deliver the highest levels of environmental and society integrity. We can have also climate action reverse, which is the most trusted, efficient, and experienced offset registry for global carbon markets. Finally, we have Puro Earth, which is the world's leading crediting platform for engineered carbon removal. Some other standards are CER, CCER, Plan Vivo. In this picture, we will show the marketplace. There are different marketplaces where you can sell your carbon credits, but this is just an example to show you that there can be a marketplace. First, the voluntary carbon market. Once certified, you will gain access to the marketplace corresponding to the specific standard, such as VCS, Gold Standard, and Climate Action Reverse. Then you have a compliance market, which are where companies are required to purchase carbon credits to comply with emissions reduction mandates. We have, for example, European Union Emissions Trading System, California Cap and Trade Program, Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. We have also a brokerage platform which can connect buyers and sellers of carbon credits. And this will include brokerage fees, example 5%, but it will depend on the two parties. In this example, we can see Air Carbon Exchange, Carbon Trade Exchange, or Evergreen Carbon. Let's see now the identification of your carbon credit project, especially if you are in Africa. Africa, I have chosen Africa because it presents a unique opportunity for a carbon credit project due to its natural resources, growing renewable energy potential, and high value vulnerability to climate change. Africa has carbon market potential because this continent only contributes to 4% of global carbon emissions worldwide, but it suffers disproportionately from climate change impact, making carbon finance essential for sustainable development. And the other reason is abundance of land and renewable energy resources. For Africa, we have different possibilities, but the most important are based in nature. Best in nature, for example, we have afforestation activities, and the EFM, sustainable agriculture, and the heredity project. These nature-based projects are higher price than engineering-based projects due to better quality and lower in quantity. The advantage of this project based in nature are they are less expensive and immediately operable, but they are less permanent. Let's see in detail what are these projects. Afforestation and reforestation. The target of this project is to plant a permanent forest and or restore the land degraded by prior use in agriculture or cattle ranching. Afforestation and reforestation will help sequester carbon while bringing back a suitable habitat for animals and plants to survive and enhance biodiversity. The carbon financing would enable the employment and the hiring of local farmers. This project can be located especially in Africa due to its good natural potential. The certification, they can be certified by all carbon credit standards when eligibility criteria are proven, and the carbon sequestered will depend on the area, the type of trees, and the soil. These are all the sustainable development goals so we can get from this afforestation and reforestation project. For example, we can have no poverty, education quality, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, decent work, climate action, which is the most important and it is a requirement for carbon credit project, and finally here life on land. Heredity project. This is also an example of project that you can develop. The goal is to achieve emission reduction from forest conservation and sustainable management of degrading forest to enhance the forest carbon stocks. The main causes of deforestation are socioeconomic, like subsistence agriculture, the collection of firewood, and the poaching activities, and settlements. Decrease in deforestation will be achieved through a series of activities that are designed to improve significantly the livelihoods of locals, such as improved agriculture, beekeeping, fuel wood plantations, and fair management. This is also a best opportunity for Africa due to its natural resources, and the certification, it can be also certified by all carbon credit standards when the eligibility criteria are proven, and the carbon sequestered will depend on the area and the activity which will be done on site. Finally, we have also improved management, improved forest management that we usually call EFM. EFM a project convert the logged forest to protected forest to reduce carbon emissions. And prior the implementation of the project activity, the trees are logged annually according to a valid and verifiable government-approved timber management plan. It is also a best opportunity for Africa and can be certified for by all carbon credit standards when the eligibility criteria are proven, and the carbon sequester depends on the type of trees and the area protected. The sustainable development costs of a project identified, all the carbon credit project should have this sustainable development costs. If they want to be approved first, and the most important is SDG 30, which is climate action. Then we can have no poverty, gender equality, affordable and clean energy, and life on land. So now actually, let's see the best strategies and challenge to develop the carbon credit project in Africa. The best strategies. First, you need to focus on high impact sectors. The most effective carbon credit project in Africa should target renewable energy like solar, wind, or hydro project that reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Energy efficiency like improved cook stoves, energy efficient lighting, or industrial process optimization, forestry and land use that we have discussed before, agriculture like sustainable land management and agroforestry, and waste management. An example is biogas from organic waste and landfill methane capture. Another strategy is use the right carbon standards. The goal of this is to maximize the credibility and the marketability. A project should follow recognized carbon standards like FERA, Gold Standard, or CDM, Climate Development Mechanism, that we have seen before. Another strategy and important is also leverage local and international funding, because you need money to start your project. That's why it is important. For example, public-private partnerships can help bridge financing gaps for your carbon credit project. There is also international climate funds like Green Climate Fund, Adaptation Fund, which provide grants for project development. We have finally an example of carbon offtake agreements that secure long-term buyers for carbon credits and reducing climate financial risk. Some other strategies that can help you also will be build local capacity and knowledge. Governments should create enabling policies for carbon credit projects, and local business and communities, because they need to be involved in the project. So they need to be trained in carbon accounting, verification, and monitoring. There are also African universities and research institutions that could develop expertise in carbon markets to increase local participation. The last strategy that I can recommend is ensure social and economic co-benefits. Because, as we said before, a carbon credit project should have a sustainable development costs. So in that context, they should address poverty reduction, employment, and biodiversity conservation to attract investment and local support. Even there are different advantages and strategies. There are some challenges you need to prevent when developing your carbon credit project. For example, there is sometimes lack of awareness and expertise, because many stakeholders like farmers, businesses, and policy makers, they have limited knowledge of carbon credit mechanism. To encounter this, you can work with a carbon credit consultant that can support you on all the process. High initial cost, because developing a project and getting certification related to carbon credit standards can be expensive, and it may make it difficult for a small scale project to access the market. That's why you need to look for funding in your project. Regulatory uncertainty, because some African countries lack clear carbon market policies, creating challenges in project approval and carbon rights ownership. We have also verification and monitoring difficulties. Many carbon credit projects require continuous monitoring, which can be challenging in remote areas with limited infrastructure. Finally, limited local investment. Most carbon credit projects in Africa rely especially on international buyers and investors, and this context can limit local ownership and benefits. This is an example of cost that you can see when developing a carbon credit project. First, the feasibility study and the project design. The cost related to that, environmental and social impact assessment. This is a range of costs, $10,000 to $50,000. And the technical feasibility analysis is range from $5,000 to $30,000, but it will depends on the scale of a project, if it is a large scale or micro scale project. Then for certification and validation, registration with carbon standards like VCS and gold standard, the cost is about $10,000 to $30,000. And hiring a third-party auditor for validation, it will be about $20,000 to $50,000. The monitoring and reporting infrastructure, it means installing monitoring system on site. It's about $50,000 to $100,000. Data collection and management, it can range from $5,000 to $20,000 per year. Legal and administration cost, there is a cost related to contract negotiation and legal fees. It range from $5,000 to $20,000. And governmental approvals and permits, it will vary by countries. The implementation cost, it varies about by project type, but usually, for example, we have a renewable energy project like a solar farm. This is the cost, $500,000, and the reforestation project, land acquisition, tree planting, and maintenance, it can range to $1,000 to $5,000 per hectare. But these are the costs, but you can see here the benefit, the expected price that you can get per project. Especially if you try to restore, to use nature restoration, you can range a price of 18 USD per ton. And if you use renewable energy, you can have 5.9 USD per ton for your project. Then you can conclude that the nature restoration project has a higher cost compared to other projects. And the heredity project refers to biodiversity preservation, protection of ecosystem services, and the enhancement of local community livelihoods and rights. The detailed benefit cost that you can get, for example, for reforestation, about 100 hectares, the estimated cost benefit is to 100,000 to 500,000 dollars, and the annual revenue is $50,000 to $200,000. For solar power, you can have 1 million to 1 million dollars, and the annual revenue will be $100,000 to $300,000. There is also another benefit that you can see here for biogas from waste, which is in this case a small scale project. And for sustainable agriculture, for 1,000 hectares, this is the benefits. And you can see in the last sheet also the other benefits that can be get from each project. So this is the end of my presentation. To conclude, you can see that developing a carbon credit project is sometimes very difficult, but you can get higher price and good quality and the benefits if you use and have the right support. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question, do not hesitate to ask. Thank you.